spirit is low. I need a dollar, 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 that's what I need. Hey, hey. Well, I need a dollar, dollar, dollar.
Good morning, welcome back to Breakfast Television. Well, your recent grad could be walking into a world of financial troubles if they're not careful about the pit stops or the pitfalls along the way. And Dan Chometa joins us from Consolidated Credit to make sure that our grads don't make the mistakes that so many of us made when we left school. Let's talk about why things are so particularly hard on the recent grad. What are they facing?
Most grads are working with $20,000, if not more, of student debt coming straight out of university. I think the mismanagement of student loans for individuals has been a real problem. Most people, what they should have done in hindsight is take a year of student loans, pay off that debt over the summer by working a summer job.
Right.
Coming back, taking out another student loan. But unfortunately, what a lot of people have done is they've acquired 4 years of student loans, put them all on top of each other, and now we're dealing with a massive amount of debt at a relatively high interest rate, depending on the situation.
Yeah, and they're also walking into their first foray into the working world, which is quite often an entry-level position. So we've got lots of money that is owed and very little money coming in. So what should my student be doing the day after graduation? What do they need to be checking off?
Well, the first thing they need to do is they need to contact their bank, understand all of the things that they're dealing with in terms of their credit cards, their loans. Call the National Student Loan Center. That's a great idea to understand when your student loan payments are going to start. Typically, they're 6 months after completion of your program on a federal loan.
Okay.
Provincially, it can be different, depends on the situation, and in some cases people have gone to private lending or to banks, creditors, things like that, where those loans are due immediately.
Okay, so understand my payment options and how I'm actually paying things back. I also need to contact my bank because rules could now change that I'm no longer a student.
Well, yeah, oftentimes when students get into university or college, they're given student credit cards, student bank accounts, which are no fees, different kinds of cycle dates. So you want to review your contracts, make sure that you're making your payments on time, because your payment scheduling could turn to a 28-day cycle date when you're used to a 30. You're paying every 30 days and now you're late. So we want to make sure that we understand all of the conditions of every account that we have.
So understand what's going on and everything, understand how we're coming out of there. What about to the student who's already made their mistakes? What about the person who's post-graduation, they've started to accumulate that debt and they didn't get off on the right foot?
Yeah, I think number one, first and foremost, as I talk about all the time.
Let me get. Make a budget?
Yeah, make a budget, but also take a look at your credit report. You've lived with roommates, you've shared some expenses, maybe you've given the responsibility to a roommate to pay off the rest of the rent for the rest of the year, and he failed to do so. So that's going to impact your credit.
Right.
So we want to make sure that we're not dealing with any outstanding debt that isn't our responsibility,
okay,
or maybe misinformation that's on our credit bureau,
right,
because that can affect our ability to consolidate our student debt into a low interest rate line of credit, as an example.
Okay, so if that example for that student who's dealing with those large debts, I can find an organization that's going to help me consolidate all those debts, get all those multiple debts into one debt and make it a little more manageable.
Right.
So there's great tips for you there on breakfasttelevision.ca. Great information and great links through breakfasttelevision.ca. It is always a pleasure to see you, buddy.
Thank you, same.
Go Bombers, go. Going to take a break. There's still plenty to come today on BT.